Because reading is what?
Fundamental.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Do You Read BTS? I'm Lisa.
And I'm Delize. Welcome back, guys. So, as we mentioned in the last episode, we were going to be doing like a behind the story type of episode. And this week we are speaking with the young lady who wrote New Neighbor, your underscore Jagia91. So, we're super excited. Welcome, Jagia.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Definitely. We're super excited about this episode because the story was so great. So, we just wanted to get kind of some more info from you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna get into it. We're just gonna kind of ask some questions to see like how you got the story and all of that.
Okay, so I guess the first question I have is, what made you write this story?
I only had one Namjoon story out at the time, and I really wanted to do another one because he is Kim Namjoon.
Yes,
and
Yes.
and when the idea for like doing something that involves like meeting someone that's a neighbor, I was like, oh, that can be him. So that's kind of why I chose that route.
Okay, so how did you picture him when you wrote this story and you see him? How was his image to you?
Blonde.
Yes. Okay.
We love blonde Namjoon.
Yes.
Yeah. So I kind of saw him as the cover is, if anyone seen the cover, and just very intelligent person, very respectful person, but a very hurt person. So his persona was kind of like back and forth. I tried not to pretend that I know who they are as people. So I kind of put my own twist on them. But I tried keeping him, like I said, intelligent, respectful, all that jazz, successful.
Awesome.
Oh.
So I know.
Interesting.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I was just saying that it was interesting that you said you tried not to like act like you knew who they were. That was cool. I wouldn't have never thought of that.
I think that there's a lot of crazy fans out there that think that they like know people like BTS like personally, and I try to not have that image. So when I write my stuff, I try to like take like bits and pieces of the person I think they might be, and then make my own character from there.
Okay. I like that. Yeah, I like that. So with the story, with the main characters, we have the girl and we have her brother Jin. How did you come up with them as your characters and making them specifically like how they are?
Well, because I write primarily from the MC point of view, it's easier for me to put bits and pieces of myself in the MC personality. So any book that you read from me, the MC will have a little bit of me in her. So it helps me connect with her and write. One of the things that she does that I do is paint.
Oh.
So I'm not nearly as good as her, but I that is something I do to like relieve stress, and just like if I want to like not think about something, I'll just start painting. And that's kind of what I tried to put in with her. As far as Jin is concerned, I kind of based him off of a really good friend of mine who's extremely protective and has like helped me out a lot in the past when I struggled. She's kind of like a big sister to me. So with the guys being guys, I just put him as a big brother.
Okay.
Or a little brother.
Cool. So I know that we spoke before about like the story of the girl and the stuff that she went through. I know nobody knows about it just yet, but can you kind of give us like a kind of a story, background of how that came about?
So in the story, as you guys had covered, the MC basically put a ring payment in her name, and that actually happened to my best friend.
Wow.
She didn't like find the guy cheating on her or anything. That was kind of what I put in the story. But the real story is she dated a guy for 5 years. 2 years in, they talked about getting married, and she's a very bougie girl, but she deserves it. She works hard for everything she has. So she actually had a ring personally designed for her.
Oh, wow.
And he did not have good enough credit to put the ring in his name. So she thinking that, so she thinking, you know, well, I'm going to be with this man for the rest of my life. We're going to share expenses anyway. She puts it in her name. Well, he never asks her, and she never actually has the ring. He puts it in, our theory was he put it in a safe that he had that she didn't have the code to, and they ended up breaking up, and he never gave her back her ring or her wedding band.
Oh my gosh.
And then we found out about 6 months after they broke up that he was engaged to another woman, and the picture on Facebook was with my friend's ring.
Oh my gosh.
No, it really did happen. Like, I mean, like, she didn't catch him like cheating or anything like that, like I put in my story, but that really did happen. And the ring, the band, and his ring together was I think like 15 grand total.
Oh my
Because like I said, this is like a
gosh.
handcrafted ring. So she had his ring, which was the least expensive of the three.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it took her, I think, they've been broken up for 2 years now, and maybe longer. It may be longer than that. Maybe like 2.5 years. But she sent me a text message like 4 months ago that she made her final payment on that ring, and she no longer has to pay for it anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Bless her heart that she ready to do that.
Yeah.
Girl, let me ever. We're gonna sorry. we're first of all we're gonna find then, girl. You wear my ring that I just got. Oh no, but we're gonna do that. If you are gonna wear a ring, I'm gonna ever that you wear my ring.
And one thing that I found like really horrible is before I moved, because I moved across the state or across the country about a year and a half ago, and before I moved, she called me and she's like, "You'll never guess who I just got my nails done next to." And I didn't think anything of it. And she told me it was her, and she's like, "I sat there and stared at her ring for an hour."
Oh my gosh.
Oh girl, she is such a good person, honey.
Oh my gosh.
Kudos to her.
Seriously, kudos to her. I'm really happy to hear that thing is paid off, so she no longer has to deal with that burden. Because like in the story, like that was something like a monthly reminder of the bull, you know?
Yeah.
So, bless her heart. Oh my gosh.
Do you want to hear the worst part about it?
Yes, please. There's more.
It's kind of sad.
Oh no.
He died.
He died?
Yeah.
No.
He had a really bad kidney cancer that was like really, really rare, that was incurable. And he was married to the girl for about 6 months before he passed away. So it was just a whole bunch of like really bad things that happened to her. But I will say she is now engaged to a new man.
Oh,
and she's
very happy.
that's so exciting.
So yeah.
I said that that girl is gonna get something 25 times better than that ring.
Yeah.
Because how good she was. Like she literally sat next to that girl and stared at her ring. She probably was thinking, darn, your man just died, so I can't really say nothing, but I don't know how I would react to that.
Right.
You know, it's easy, like when before he passed away, like, you know, it was easy to be angry and stuff like that, but when he passed, she just kind of said to me, "You know what? It's not even worth being angry. I'll just pay it off and it'll be over with when it's over with." And she actually paid it off really early because she paid it off with like her tax refunds and her work bonuses and stuff like that. So she like what would have been going on for about, I think it was like a 6-year plan, she got it paid in 2.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. But I'm sorry. I still would have been like, girl, you wearing my ring. You can keep it. But you wearing my, I just want you to know. You wearing my
That's
ring.
crazy. Oh my gosh.
Well, we never found out if she knew it was not. I mean, we never knew if she ever found out that the ring was designed for another woman. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered, but like, I always wondered, like, I wonder if she knows.
I'm
Like, I
pretty
wonder if
sure
she
she did.
knows that.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure he didn't be like, by the way, this ring was paid off by, I mean, it's paid by somebody else.
She had to have known though, because if he didn't have like decent credit to get the ring when he was with
She
with
probably
the
didn't know he
friend,
had decent credit.
well,
My theory was that he probably told her that it was like a family ring or something like that, but
Mm.
yeah. So that's where like when I wrote that story, I actually wrote that part of the story before telling my friend. And
oh
people and finally I was like, I should probably tell her this. And
yeah.
I was like, so I used this in one of my stories, but I left this and this out and changed it to this and this. And she was like, that's fine. I don't care. And I was like, all right, cool. Like,
Wow. Oh wow. That's it's sad, but it's like it's beautiful to hear that she's now engaged and like on a different path. So that's really awesome. I'm really happy for her.
me too.
Yeah,
Me
me
too.
too. I really am.
That's
She's the
great.
Rachel to my Monica.
Oh,
I love it.
that's awesome. So, some other questions that I know that I had was, have you ever like experienced any like crazy heartbreak like that yourself? Because like the way the story was written, I know you had pulled a little bit of that from your friend's story, but just kind of overall the story, have you experienced any of that for yourself, or just heartbreak in general?
When I was really, really young, my first boyfriend ever like broke my heart. Like, he was a little bit younger than me, and I was off to college, and we dated my entire first year of college. This is a long time ago. This is like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came back home for the summer, I'm thinking we're gonna have a great summer. It'll be so nice to be back. I can see him more often than like the weekends. And I even went to his prom with him, and then 4 days later he broke up with me through a text message.
Oh wow.
And it was after we were dating for a year, and we were like really, really close for a couple years before that. So he was like one of my best friends. That best friend turned into like partner thing, and then we did really, really well through like my first year being away. And then when I came back, he just couldn't do the long distance thing anymore, and he said, you were just gonna leave in a couple of months, and I just can't do it. And I was really, really broken up about that because, you know, it was my first love.
Yeah.
I actually had a lot of really big self-confidence issues back then too. So like he was smaller than me. I always thought he was more attractive than me, that kind of thing. So when it did end, I was like devastated. I was thinking I would never love again. So I do remember that pain because I wasn't expecting it. So sometimes when I write about like painful things, like that's the memory that I'll trigger. But I'm not a serial dater. A lot of my friends are serial daters, so I haven't really been with anybody in a long time. But that's the heartbreak that I always like go back to, even though I was super young and it was a young like puppy love heartbreak. Like that was very significant in changing the way that I see relationships.
So did you burn his stuff?
Actually, it's funny that you say that. His name was John, and I had a box of like all of his stuff in my old bedroom, and I had like put it all in there. It was like CDs that he had made me like back in the day when CDs were a thing, and like a bottle of his. Yeah, exactly. And like a bottle of his cologne, a couple of like letters that he had written me, a sweatshirt that was his, and I like shoved it in my closet along with a teddy bear. And then my parents a couple years ago sold the house, and my mom's like, I found a box. And I was at first really confused, and I was like, okay, what else?
Right.
And she tells me what's in it. I'm like, oh my God, it's my John box. Like, so I told her to I told her to just donate the sweatshirt and any other, like, there was like t-shirts and stuff in there too, and to donate the bear that he gave me, but to throw everything out. My parents were police officers growing up, so the bear got donated to a road patrol officer who answer domestic violence calls, and so he'd have a stuffed animal to give a child if he had to separate a child from a situation. So that's where that bear went.
Oh, that's
What
so
a beautiful
sweet.
ending to a bad
Yeah.
relationship.
Oh my gosh.
That was really sweet.
That
Yeah, so I
is.
didn't burn it. I threw most of it out, but then donated some stuff. So
That's good. So what are some things what are some things that you may have tried to do while healing? Because I know in the story, like the girl was painting and things like that. Is that something that you also try to do when it comes to like healing from things?
The way that I heal personally is with social interactions.
Okay.
So I painting would not be a way for me to heal from a heartbreak like that to do with another person. It would more be like distracting myself and occupying my mind with like other people and other things, and focusing on the people that I should be focusing on, and not someone who clearly didn't care about me or doesn't care about me.
Mm-hmm.
And though I haven't actually officially been with anybody in a long time, I have dated around, and I have been with people who have hurt me before it could get to anything that had a label on it or serious.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm more social, I can get past it more because I have the support and love of other people. So painting and stuff is more like if I'm like stressed at work and don't want to think about it, like I'll go home and I'll just like grab my paintbrushes and just like start slabbing stuff together.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
I know for me, when I feel so stressed out, I just watch BTS stuff.
Yeah.
That always gets me through.
Yeah.
I really enjoy their music videos. They're very aesthetically pleasing.
Right.
So for sure.
Oh yes. Oh yes. So another question I had is, was the story when you was writing it, was it originally a different way and you changed it, or was it the same way the whole time? Like, did you have it like a certain way before you had the main copy?
So a lot of people don't believe me when I tell them this, but when during the time I was writing that story and the stories before it, I didn't actually map out anything. Like I didn't have an outline. I just sat down and just wrote what came to me. And then I started having like so many ideas that I had to sit down and map everything out and like put outlines together. But that story in particular, I was so enthralled with wanting to do it, and I had this like vision in my head of how it was going to go, and then it was going to be very, very fluffy and not necessarily dramatic. And I just kind of like sat down and just like it kind of just came out. Everything just came out like naturally without it even really needing to be written down. That I can't say that about all of them, but that one for sure I can.
Oh wow. That's great.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can't say it about all of them.
Yeah.
And I think
That's what I was.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just think that maybe it has to do with the fact that, you know, it was real life stuff, like my friend going through what she went through. I paint when I'm anxious. Not Tangled. Yeah, Tangled is actually one of my favorite Disney, and that whole scene thing, that is something that I want. Like that's like if I ever have a man in my life, like please, like this is the standard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Oh, well, I definitely hope that for you. Like it's gonna come.
Thank
you.
you.
Yes. Speak positivity. You better tell D.
I
Lizay what
know.
I've been doing to her forever.
Me and Lisa have been talking about, because I'm like, I'm never gonna find anybody, blah 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 blah. She's like, you never know, you might find somebody this year, blah blah blah. And I'm like, there's no way. Lo and behold, somebody that I went to college with, we like relinked, and now we're in this beautiful relationship, and we're all in love and whatnot. So it's just like really funny because we're like, you know, talking about our future and next steps, and it is just really amazing. So it's gonna happen for you. It is gonna
It'll
happen.
happen for you, girl.
I like the positive vibe, ladies. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So one kind of to piggyback off of what you're talking about, how you didn't have an outline, you just kind of went with it. Typically, when you write your stories, does it take you how long does it take you about to write it, or is it just depending on like kind of what the content is?
It really depends on the story. For example, there's a story on there called The Assignment, and like halfway through it, I like panicked because I thought I was gonna ruin the ending because I had a very specific way of how I wanted it to end, and I actually stopped writing it for a while and picked it up 6 months later.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't. That's not common. I would say on average, maybe a story will take me 2 months to write because sometimes I'll get 3 to like 6 chapters out in one night if I'm like on a roll,
Mm-hmm.
and then other times I'll get like 1 chapter out a week. Like
Oh, okay.
So like I think that my average like is probably 2 months would be safe to say.
Mm-hmm.
But some will take longer than others and some will be shorter than others.
Yeah, see, so that's what I was telling D. Lizay, that I seen a lot of your stories was like two parts or 2 chapters, and this story was actually really long.
This was my
So,
longest one.
hmm
Yeah.
so that's what I was wondering was, do you normally do like one shots or
Actually, no.
what?
I think I only have I have 2 one-shot books out, and then 2 more planned. But the majority of the stuff that I have out like on Wattpad is all actual like books. Like I think the shortest one was 19 chapters, and then the longest one was the one that you two read, which was 52 chapters.
Oh, okay.
Hmm. Okay, because on Wattpad it always say two, 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 so
Yeah.
that's why I just
Well,
assumed, I guess, it was
yeah,
two
so all
chapters.
of those stories are pending, and I have a disclaimer and then a teaser. So like yeah,
Oh.
so if you open them up, and it won't actually be the story, it'll just be kind of like a look into what the story is going to be. Because I
Uh
have
huh.
66 stories on Wattpad, and only I think like
Yeah.
15 are done.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, so I think if I counted it correctly, I have 8 books per member of BTS.
Oh
Goodness.
wow.
Yeah.
I gotta go back and get into the JK thing.
Right.
Yeah, I have like 1 vampire story for each one and 1 werewolf story per each one, per reader's request actually. And
Nice.
then yeah, just like a mix of a bunch of them. But yeah, I have like 8 and they're all mapped out. I have outlines for all of them. I just need to get to them.
Yeah. So I know this is a question that both me and Lisa were curious about. Who is your bias and who is your bias wrecker?
Oh, so
Mm-hmm.
Tay is definitely my bias.
Okay.
he
Okay,
I
okay.
and the thing is, like, for a while I kind of like went towards Jimin, and then I was like, nope, Tay.
Yeah.
Like from the beginning it was Tay, and my bias wrecker is definitely Namjoon.
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes. Good choices.
So I have another question. What kind of fan fiction do you like to read?
Um, I believe, and not everybody believes this because everybody reads fan fiction for different reasons. I
Mm-hmm.
believe that fan fiction takes me away from the harshness of reality. So I like
Yes.
reading stories with happy endings, with a lot of fluff. And not that I don't like drama, because I know that drama can strengthen people in general, and then not only the characters. um but
Mm-hmm.
like, because there's a lot going on in the world, especially right now, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's nice to get away from that and just kind of read about some positivity. So I like to read about like positive things. I also really like dark and creepy things. Like, I watch Dead Files. I don't know if
Okay.
either of you guys watch that.
Yeah.
So I like stuff like that, but I think that um I think maybe my style might be what I like
Okay.
to read. I think that's fair.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, the smut in this story was amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing.
So how do you it's so detailed, like I don't even know how to ask the question, like it's so detailed, so how do
What's
you
my
like
inspiration?
yeah.
um So another thing that about me that I think that maybe not very many people would appreciate or understand is I don't believe in like words like slutty and like whore and stuff like that. I think that we're human beings and we have physical needs as well as emotional needs. So I, without shaming myself, I'm pretty experienced in that area.
Okay.
And so a lot of the stuff that I write about is stuff that I've experienced.
Okay, girl.
Yeah.
But I try to make it like classy and not like not trashy, classy, not trashy. Because that's how I feel about myself. If I'm going to be a sexually active person, I have to take care of myself. I have to make sure that I'm healthy, and I have to make sure that I'm being classy about it and not trashy. So I try to put that in my stories. But I also think that me writing smut might be an opportunity to show people who read them how they should be treated and how they should be feeling, and different things that they can try and different things that might work for them and they can like bring to their partners. I don't like the idea that anyone under 18 is reading my stories, but at the same time, there's a lot of women out there that aren't educated. And I am actually I'm not certified, but in college I took a lot of like women's body classes and like sex ed classes and sex like education, that kind of thing. So I think there's a lot about the female body that women don't know, and I do know. So I try really hard to incorporate that in my writing very, very discreetly. That way maybe something I write can spark interest and maybe help, because relationships are a lot about the physical part of it, and sometimes when you're struggling physically, you struggle mentally. So sorry, I just rambled on for that.
No, you're good.
No, that was perfect. So I was just wondering, was it awkward to write it?
At first it was. At first, my first one is a Jungi story, or Suga, and it's called Unexpected. It's one of my shorter ones. It's only like 25 chapters, and at first it was very awkward. It was very awkward to like put it out there, but I'm really good friends with Pervy Nuna, and she helped me a lot through that.
Yes.
She helped me a lot through it, and she's like, girl, just say it. Like, she's like, the more detailed you are, the better it's going to be for the readers that read it. So she helped a lot with that.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, we love Pervy.
Yeah, definitely.
I actually just got done. I was actually on the phone with her, and she and I have 4th of July plans. I'm going to go visit her.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh. So here's another question I have. Would you do a collab with her?
I am doing a collab with her.
Nice.
Yeah. It's not over yet. So when it's finished, you ladies will have to read it. But it's a Jungi story. And basically it's a classic best friends falling in love. We wanted to start with something kind of not necessarily easy, but something that a lot of people can reflect on. And basically the female lead and Jungi are best friends, and they end up falling in love, and it's just the story about how they go from being friends and to being more than friends. And then there's a couple things in the story that explains why they were so close without being intimate for as long as they did. And then we have a really cute ending plan. So we're kind of like in the middle of it. Like what we're doing is like Nuna is writing from Jungi's point of view, and I'm writing from the MC point of view, and we are alternating chapters.
Oh,
so it's her chapter. And she told me she had like 300 words done, so hopefully we're going to update soon.
Nice. Oh, that's exciting.
I'm looking forward to that.
Definitely, because both of you guys write so well, and the detail and description of it, yeah, definitely is really good, and we enjoy it. We've read a bunch of Pervy Nuna stories, so I can't wait to read this.
Yeah,
I was really excited about it too, and it's not on her page yet, but we actually have another one planned. Called The X Effect, and it's going to be a Jin fanfic. So, but that's not going to be for quite a while still. But that one is a definite next one that we're going to do.
Awesome.
I love this because Jin don't get enough love.
Seriously,
does not get enough love.
So I love that y'all are giving him love in these
Well,
fanfics.
Yeah.
thank you for your appreciation.
Yeah.
What made you have the parents in the story abandon them?
Um,
So, so is there any kind of like connection with that, or you just put it in there?
I actually am very close with my parents. And that's kind of why the majority of the time my MC does not have parents, because there's no way that I could write Bob and Barb into one of these stories. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
they
Mm.
they they're very conservative people, and they both know that I write these kind of things, and they're very supportive, and I'm very lucky to have them. My mom actually read the assignment, the one that I was talking about earlier, and she said that she was not expecting it to be that good, air quotes, like,
Oh
and I was
wow.
like, thanks, mom. um
Wait, so your mom read some of your
Yeah,
fan fiction?
it's called The Assignment, and it
Oh,
only has like, I think it has like 46 chapters, but there's only like 4 chapters with smut in it, so it's not very heavily smut. So that's the one that she read,
mm-hmm,
and she said that she really liked it. And because I write so much from the MC point of view, it's really hard for me to write parents into her life, because my parents are so like conservative and very very opposite of me and my sisters,
mm-hmm,
and like it's just hard to incorporate them in, so sometimes it's easier for me to write the parents just not being there. So I try to come up with creative reasons as to why the parents are non-existent. So that's why I put the Jin and my MC through the foster care system, and also it strengthened their bond as brother and sister too. So
I like that.
oh yeah,
I like that
yeah.
a lot.
So how do your family feel about you writing fan fiction, particularly because it's BTS, and a lot of people don't get BTS. They don't get why we like BTS. So how do they take that you write fan fiction about
my
BTS?
parents understand that it's like an anchor for like more in the future, that's kind of like stepping
Mhm.
into like what I've always wanted to do. Like I've been writing for a really long time. I took like a huge gap of a
Mhm.
break because of college. But they know that it's kind of like getting my feet wet type of thing. So
Okay.
regardless of whether or not it's
Mhm.
BTS fan fiction or my own characters, like I try to write my books as if I plucked out the BTS characters and put my own in, they would still fit. Um
Oh.
yeah, not
Yeah.
all of them. Not all of them, but the majority of them. And
Mhm.
my sisters, I don't, they're also strangely conservative, but they're the same way. They know that it's a stepping stone, and they know that eventually I want to go into actually publishing. Hopefully I'm good enough for
Mhm.
that one day.
Yes, you are.
Thank
You're good.
thank you.
Yes, you really
So
are.
I don't think it phases them that it's K-pop or BTS or whatever like that, because I don't think they really know what it is. Um so they don't really
Mhm.
have an opinion, I guess, about it.
Okay.
They just know it's a stepping stone.
That's awesome. My mom
Okay.
and my dad both have listened to the podcast.
Oh, that's awesome that they support you
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, they think it's cool, and they're like, you. They wanted to see how it sounded in the flow, and they were giving me like little, "Hey, you guys should try this. You guys should try that." So it's kind of
Oh,
cool that they, have been supportive of it.
it's
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was telling DeLuze about my husband. Like he listened to it last night. He was like, "It's like you guys sitting at the table talking about like y'all
but
know these
that's what
people."
makes it good though, because
So
like I listened to it last night. I was so excited. I was texting. I was like, "When are you gonna post it? Are you almost done yet?" I'm so excited. Like I was so stoked to listen to it, and I laughed, and it felt like I was right there with you guys, which makes it good.
Awesome. Yeah.
and that's how we want
Exactly. Exactly.
it.
I say you're
Let me
successful.
see. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I know that we mentioned it on the episode from yesterday, that you are doing the drawing. Did you want to talk a little bit about that and let people know like where else they can find it? they will also be included in this podcast information or the show info. But if you want to mention it again, we could definitely, love to let more people know about it.
Oh, I would love to, because I'm actually really excited about it. Do you just want me to explain like what it is and how I'm keeping track of it and all that?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so recently, I lost a friend. Not like she died. She just went crazy and said a lot of really mean, hurtful things to me, and we're no longer friends. So when that happened, I didn't like the negativity, and especially since there's so much going on in the world, and I was like, what can I do to change this? What can I do to turn this around? And I realized that even though I don't have a huge platform on Wattpad, I do have a little bit, and I have a lot of really great people who like wish me luck and wish me like happiness and stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make them help me spread some love. So basically what I'm doing is, if you go to my Wattpad page, you don't necessarily have to follow me. I don't know if you can post on my page if you don't follow me, but post on my page something that you have done to give someone happiness or spread positivity. An example that I used is, I was at Starbucks. There was a huge line wrapped around the building, and I knew that workers were inside like going crazy, and there wasn't really anything that I could do to help them. So I ended up buying a $30 gift card and told the cashier, I said, please just pay for everybody behind me until it runs out, hoping that if somebody was angry that they were waiting for so long, that they didn't ruin one of the workers' day. And that and
that is so awesome.
struggle telling that story because I really don't want people to think that like I'm like searching for compliments, but like after I did that, I was like, I wonder if more people did this, if there would be more like love and passion and patience in the world, instead of like all this like hate and anger. So if you do something like send a card to a loved one, or make dinner for your neighbor, or give somebody a hug who needed a hug, or it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It doesn't have to be like a bunch of money being spent. There's no comparison to big or small in my eyes. It's spreading love. And you tell me about it on my page, I will enter you in a drawing for a care package that I'm putting together. You do have to be 18 in order to get the care package because, legal reasons.
Right.
There are going to be 2 U.S. winners and 1 foreign winner. And the foreign winner would actually get like a one shot written for them. Like they would tell me like who their bias is and a couple things about them, and then I would write them a one shot. I thought that was kind of cool. I didn't want to disclude the people who aren't in the U.S., but I can't send you a care package. Like I just can't.
Right.
So so the care packages have, I'm gonna make, those blankets that are like you cut the ends and it ties all the way around. I'm making one of those.
Yes.
And I'm also gonna make a hand sewn pillow to match.
Oh wow.
And I also have a couple other things. Like I'm very I believe in God, but I'm also very spiritual. I believe in karma. So I have a selenite moonstone that is supposed to deter negative energy. I have a rose quartz I'm gonna put in there that's supposed to
nice.
Thank you. It's supposed to like promote like love of all kinds. So romantic, familial, friends, self-love, like all that jazz. I collect cards. Decks of cards, playing cards. So I put a playing card of my own collection. Like I plucked one from my own collection and put one in each of them. A set of dice, a tapestry that has a picture with a meaning on it, and then a hardcover, really high class like notebook from Peter Popper Press with a handwritten letter in it explaining everything that's in the care package and like what it does, what it represents, and what it represents to me. So that's what it's gonna be. And there's a couple other things that'll be in there too, but I talk a lot. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I've been told
that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm in here like these are some good gifts. Like
I just gotta say, like, we definitely appreciate you being on, and like talking to you is just, you're such a loving person and super sweet.
Thank you. I try to be.
Yeah.
I really think the more energy of love and energy and positivity you put in the world, the more that you get back. So I try to remind myself that anytime something bad happens, and I encourage everybody to do the same thing.
Yeah,
We definitely need more love in the
definitely.
world.
And
So
so one of the
that's
questions that I
awesome.
did have was going to ask about how you were able to put so much love into the story, but once we talked to you, I'm like, I get it. Like this is just she's like,
She got
yeah,
so much love,
like a Care
girl.
Bear,
Oh,
just it's inside waiting to shoot out. Like this is
my,
beautiful.
I have a
It's
big heart on
beautiful.
my belly.
Just oozing that love on everybody,
Yeah.
I
honey.
just
Oh.
I just think that there's just my parents were police officers. You have to put that into consideration. So they're very tainted of the world because they see a lot of the bad.
Right.
So when growing up, they tried really hard to keep me real, but also not taint me. And I think also I'm just blessed to have a positive attitude when I could have a negative one. So if I have that blessing, then I should share it with people. And I
Uh-huh.
appreciate you saying the kind things that you have said to me because that makes me really happy and I'm smiling right now.
Yay! Oh, this is awesome. I'm so excited.
Are you ladies going to
Me
join
too.
my campaign and do some good deeds and tell me about it on my wall?
Definitely.
Yeah,
We
girl.
got to. We got to show support. Have
Yeah,
to.
and the cool thing about it is I am basing it off an honor system. Like, I'm going to have faith that fellow armies aren't going to lie just to get a prize. And
Right.
I'm also not limiting it. So if you want to do a good deed every single day, I'm going to put your name in the drawing every single time you post on my wall. Like that's like there is no limits, and no, like I said, no big or small. And hopefully if it goes well, this is something that I can do maybe once a month. Just
Okay.
to like keep it going.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Oh.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like the one shot idea where you can put the name, because I wouldn't mind having my name in the story with JK. I would not mind that at all.
Well, there was one person who actually asked, like, can I be part of the one shot? And I'm like, okay. I was like, I told her, I was like, I can't take away the one shot from someone out of the States, but if you win, I will do a one shot for you and save the care package for another time. And so she's like, all right, that's what I want.
That's awesome.
Yay. Okay, so if I
I
win,
definitely want the one shot.
that's
All
right, with
right.
JK, with
Of
some
course with
smut.
this
Do
smut.
not omit the smut, okay?
Oh, this is great. Well, did you have any more questions, Lisa, before we, because I know I feel like we've been talking a while and I don't want to take up much more of anybody else's time, but did you have any more questions?
No, we're
Okay.
good here. No,
I
we're
have
good here.
something.
All right.
In the
Sure.
podcast, Lisa, you had made a comment about how you were expecting more drama and that though it wasn't there and you didn't miss it, that was kind of the story that you liked. Is that true? So,
That is very true. I did tell Delazay that as we were reading the story, I don't see a lot of drama, but it kept me engaged because the smut was really good and the fluff
Mm-hmm.
was really good. So even though I do like some drama, I did not miss it in this story because the fluff and the
well,
smut
the
was so
reason
good.
I'm bringing it up is because I know that you ladies are, reading the same stories and you've got like kind of a list going. But if you have time and you have free time, one of my books is called Bad Apples. And it is a Tay fan fiction
Uh-huh.
technically, but there's also a little bit of Jimin, a little bit of Yoongi, and it's about three high class criminals that the MC has to teach. Like she's their teacher, and she's not necessarily a heroine. She is actually an anti-hero in the story, and there's a lot more drama in it. So if you have time and you want,
Ooh, this is up Delazay's alley, just so you know. This is up
if there's
her.
any book of mine that I can recommend, it would definitely be that one. It was the most fun for me to write, and it was actually one that my dad helped me with because the MC's father is a bad man. He's a crooked cop. And so my dad being a police
Hmm.
officer, he helped me with a lot of like legal terms and stuff like that. So, and like I said, no hurry, no pressure or anything like that. But if you do want something that's a little bit more dramatic and something that I've written, definitely Bad Apples.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm adding that to the list.
Add it to the list. Do you have any more questions for us? I
I
like
just want
that.
to know like how you guys met. Like how did you, because I know that Delaze and I are in the same state. But I know that Lisa,
Mm-hmm.
you're not. So I'm just kind of curious. Maybe you're actually in the same state as Nuna. So I wasn't sure. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
She's in South Carolina?
Yeah.
Really? Oh my gosh. I gotta figure out what part of the state is she
um.
from? Do you
Gosh,
know?
she's like an hour away from Charlotte.
Oh, okay. So
Maybe
she's
I
like in
don't
mid
know.
state. Okay. So she may be
Yeah.
not too far from me,
Well, I just think
honestly.
it's funny because like I'm originally from Michigan and I moved to Florida in the end of 2018, and I actually met her on Wattpad, but she and I met up in Chicago before I moved, and we just like really connected. And
Hmm.
Delaze had said that you guys had never met before, so I'm kind of wondering how your connection came about.
We met because I listened to Dela's other podcast, Grown in BTS. I don't know if you listen to that, but it's really good. She has another
Ooh.
podcast with JJ. And I listened to that, and they were talking about, what were you guys
Yeah.
talking about? Hobie. They were talking about Hobie, and I told I wrote on their Twitter, they should read what was the name of the Hobie story,
Remember?
Dealer's
Wait, no.
name?
It was the very first
No,
one
it
that I
was
ever read, and it was so good. It was dang, what was it? Hobie's
I'm about
something
to,
about the kid, the secret child. Was it Secret Child or
yeah, it was a secret.
I think it's Secret. I can't remember.
Hold on, I'm about to find it because it was such a good first book for
Yeah,
anybody to read.
it was Secret, the Secret Child of Hosak. Yep.
John Hozak,
So
yeah.
she had.
No, that's just how we just start talking. I just said you should read this book. Then she read it and she loved it, and I kind of gave you more books to read, and we got to just talking about fan fiction and stuff. And I was like, I would love to do a podcast on it, but I really didn't know how to do it. But Diva was already doing it, so that's how Do You Read
Mm-hmm.
BTS came
And
upon.
who are your biases and bias wreckers?
So my bias is Namjoon, and my bias wrecker. Honestly, I feel like it's all of them. A lot of the times, I would say, I would
Same.
say, I don't know. I feel like it changes so much. I feel like Tay's been my bias wrecker as of late, but they always switch. Like I'm always
Mhm.
kind of conflicted.
Same. I feel the same as that way. Everybody know JK is my boo, okay? That's my boo, especially when he have the long
Mm-hmm.
hair. Everybody know that's my boo. But like Deluzay said, they change so much. Like, and the more fan fiction I read, the more they
Exactly.
change. So yeah, everybody's my bias. Like at first it was Tay, it was just Tay. But then it started being Namjoon here, and then Yugi here, and Jin here. So
I
yeah,
felt the same
everybody.
way
Yeah.
for a while, but then I was like, no, I'm definitely loyal to Tay, and then I was like, but Namjoon just does something that's really strange.
Yes.
He's
Cause
just
Namjoon got the thick
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
legs,
I just like the way that he speaks. Like
He's got
honestly,
the
like
thick
Yeah.
they
He's
thighs.
they're all
yeah.
very attractive and they're all very intelligent and talented, but like the way that Namjoon speaks
Yeah,
is just very
Mm-hmm.
like, maybe it's because he speaks
yeah.
English. I don't know, but I mean I also feel the same way about Yoongi, like Suga. Like when both of them speak, they just speak very elegantly and they speak very like respectfully, and
Mm-hmm.
they think about what they say before they say it. And I don't know if that means
Right.
with the job or whatever, but I think that's really what got me with Namjoon, on top of all of the rest of it and his geniusness behind like producing and all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Also, something for them too is the
Yeah.
tone.
Yeah.
Like tones are really big for me, and so when I when I hear them speak, it also just it does something to me because it how deep their voices are, but also like just how they speak is yeah, I love it. I get it.
Um, I have one
Yes.
more question.
Yes.
How did you
Yes.
guys
Sure.
find my Wattpad page?
We were how did we get this story recommended to us?
We was just
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
found it. I found this story. We was just trying to find a good
Namjoon.
was it? No, I'm June. That's right. We go a lot of times. What we do is we like, oh, we haven't read a story about such and such a long time. Let's find one. So that's how I kind of came. Did
I
I
think
find the
so.
story, or did you find the story? I think I found the story. Yeah, I did. I did. Yeah, and that's we just look. We just keep looking until we find something. If it's
Yeah.
not on our list, we just look
It
until
gets
we
tricky
find
because
something.
like we have people send in recommendations, but we have a lot of the same
Uh-huh.
people, so we want to make sure that we give everybody their fair chance to be reviewed and talked about. So we try to like space it out. So if we have like a bunch of Jimin and JK and Tay stories, we want to try to make sure we get a good mix, and so we have to go outside of the list and look. And so that's kind of how we popped up on your story, which is freaking great. Like
Uh-huh. Right. So now we are actually looking for an
hmm
OT7 story. So if you have any
I
recommendations, please let us
see.
know.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I have any recommendations about that because I did write one, but I mean, it was 19 chapters. I wouldn't. I mean, like I'm confident in it. I don't mean to like brush it off, but it's like it's. I don't know if it would be worth like reviewing because it was so short. Um,
mm.
but if when you do OT7s, do you take into
Uh-huh.
consideration like shorter stories? Because I do have one called Sinful Pleasures, and they're technically one shots, but they're all one story, and basically each member represents a seven deadly sin. And it's
Oh.
literally 9 chapters, 7 chapters are smut, one with each member.
Sign me up.
And like I basically the synopsis of it is that J-Bone from Got Seven is the devil, and he has keepers
Uh-huh.
of his 7 layers of hell, and they're like on, yeah, JB.
Not Joey
And
B.
and he basically like the his keepers are like, we want like a partner, like we want someone like to be with us. So he a broken heart calls out to him, and so he finds this girl, and he is like, all right, girl, you get to choose who you want to be with. And like he takes away her pain from her, like sucks it out of her, until she meets each deadly sin. And at the very end, she has to make a decision on who she wants to be with. However, it's the reader's choice. So I don't actually have an ending to it.
Oh.
I did do like a little teeny tiny, like if you like picked this one, this was what the ending was, and like if you picked this one, this is what the ending was. But it was like whoever your bias is, or whichever chapter you thought that you would go with, like that's how the ending goes.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
But I
Ah.
don't read a lot
Okay.
anymore, simply because I write so much. I don't want to write someone else's ideas. So I really,
I
unless
get
it's
that.
mine or Nuna's.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
exactly what happened with Pervy Nuna. Remember, they was like when we
mhm.
was reading something else, and then we
Mhm.
started reading Frat House, and somebody
Yeah.
had
Mhm.
wrote her
Oh,
whole story.
I like, she called me when that happened. She was like, I can't believe this. And like Wattpad didn't take it very seriously. And then she actually
Mhm.
reached out to the person who did it, and the girl claimed that she had no idea and it was an original story. And it's like there was a part in the story where like they were playing Truth or Dare, and Jimin like goes down on her in front of everyone. Yeah, and then the girl did the same exact thing. I'm
Mhm.
like,
Oh,
that
we
is such a
remember.
specific thing. What makes you think like?
It was yeah. It
Yeah, it
looked like
really
there was a
was.
part of it that was literally
Yeah,
word for word.
that's what I heard, and I got really nervous. I'm like, I really hope that mine doesn't
Yeah,
do that. Like nobody does that to me. Like, but
Yeah.
people are.
yeah, we definitely know. We don't like
Mhm.
copycats. Like, do your own thing, get your own credit. Like, we're not gonna
I
give you
respect that.
credit
That's really
like for
great that you
copying
guys like
somebody
are
else's
very
stuff.
cautious about who you're giving credit to. That's I as a writer, I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. We just want to make sure the right people, get the credit, and we don't want anybody to feel like, oh, I can't believe they did that. So it's like we just want to make sure everybody gets
Yeah,
their light.
which again, I like respect wholeheartedly.
Thanks. Thanks so much.
Do you guys have any other questions for me?
Um, I think I think that might
I
be
think
it.
that's about it.
Before we go, if you have like a Instagram or anything that you want to pub, definitely like drop your handle, and yeah, let people know where they can
I
find you.
don't. I'm the worst millennial. I don't get on social media. I have a Snapchat, but that's it. Like,
okay.
I have Snapchat and Wattpad. That's all I really use.
Okay. Well, everybody, you can find her writing on Wattpad at your_Jagia91. Check out her stories. You guys can always follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And as usual, you can send your recommendations to us at doyoureadbts@yahoo.com. Real quick though, with the recommendations, if you guys can include who the story is about, as well as where to find it, that would be great, because we have a lot of stories, but we cannot find them.
Right. And before we get off of here, we did not mention last time the what's going on in this country, but we wanted to make sure that we let you guys know that here at Do You Read BTS, we stand for Black Lives Matter. We could tell you a bunch of Black people that died under this, but this list will go on forever. And so we just want to say that we stand with that. We have no tolerance for racism.
And I know a lot of us are trying to figure out what we can do to help to support the Black Lives Matter movement. Me and Lisa both have been trying to figure out different things to do. There's a page on Twitter that's at One in an Army that has been doing donations. BTS just recently donated $1 million, and so what they're doing is we're trying to get as many army as possible to match that. So we will be retweeting the tweet that One in the Army did post, but we'll also be putting the link in our show notes, so you guys can always go there and support as well. But yeah, we just wanted to let you guys know that we do here at Do You Read BTS support the Black Lives Matter movement, especially because we also are Black women.
Yes, Black lives
we
do
can
matter.
get through this.
Definitely, and I'm definitely an ally in that.
Thank you so much. So we definitely appreciate that. Yeah, we definitely appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate being on your guys' podcast.
Absolutely. Well, we will see you guys next time. Stay safe out there, everybody. We love you and take care.